Hey, what's going on, guys? Digidesdan here, and I'm back again with another pickup video. Um, Doing this weekly again, and this week I had a lot of great grabs, mostly from various stores, some Value Village, some half-price books, some GameStop, and some like Target and Walmart, I guess. I'll start off with some World and Nintendo figures. So I don't know if you're aware, but Jack Pacific does a line of Nintendo toys, and they have multiple series of action figures, of plushes, and they're very cool. They're not the most articulated and the most detailed, but they are very cool nonetheless because they are Nintendo related. So to start off, this is one from Toys R Us. It is the World of Nintendo Series 2-2, and it is from Legend of Zelda. It is a Skull Kid, which is very cool. It's got the Skull Kid here. Comes with a Majora's Mask accessory, and you can put it on. I can hold it closer. You can't really tell. It's not out of the packaging just yet, but there's limited articulation. But it's very cool because it's a Skull Kid. Up next, another couple World of Nintendo figures. The last one I showed was the 4-inch line. They also have a 2.5-inch and a 6-inch line. These are the 2.5s. We have a Tom Nook and a Samus. These are also from this one's from the 2.2 line. This is 2.3 line. So this one's just a bit newer. Also, those are the clamshell ones. Walmart and GameStop have the non-clamshell ones, so they come in just a cardboard packaging. This one's the Samus. So if I bring up that other Samus here, they're nearly identical. They're basically identical, but this one comes in a nice clamshell packaging, plastic packaging, and this one's just cardboard. And of course, the figure is very loose. It's just tied in there with like a rubber band, but still very cool. Also from GameStop, same packaging as that loose Samus, quote unquote loose Samus. We have a piranha plant coming out of a red pipe. I know that they released one of these earlier, but it was coming out of green pipes, so there's a small variation in that. The next one, also from GameStop, I believe these are GameStop only, an orange squid from Splatoon. So this one's very cool. I know that they're trying to release more Splatoon type merchandise, and how can you say no to this? I guess you could say no, because these are $5.99 each, so that's a little pricey. But either way, if you're really into Nintendo, if you like collecting little figures, or you're trying to, let's say they release a whole bunch of these in purple, teal, and whatever color, pink. If you get a whole bunch of these, you can create a cool little display using all the squids and amiibo if you do have them. So that's it for my World of Nintendo figures. Up next is just a small game grab that I got from Walmart, and I did so in a way that I exchanged a couple of my extra amiibo for a game. It's a Kirby Planet Robobot. So it's for the 3DS. It's the newest Kirby game in the franchise. I'm a huge Kirby fan, so I had to pick it up. I did not pick it up when it first came out. I'm guilty of that just because I didn't want to pay the $40 for it immediately. I know I played it, or I paid the $40 for Triple Deluxe, and I blew through that game so quickly, and I just kind of wanted to wait until I could get a better deal on Planet Robobot. When it comes to game collecting, it's kind of about budgeting. You don't want to spend, all your money in one place. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. If you budget, you go a lot further. And, just exchanging a couple of my extra amiibo that I didn't need, that I realized that I wasn't going to open, or I was going to use, and got a game that I was actually going to play, that seemed like a better deal for me. So that's that. Next up, half-price books haul. This was all today at 2 different half-price books locations. The first one, if you do go to half-price books for game hunting, that's great. Sometimes they have great deals, but I also go there for the guides. So the video game guides, they typically price them under $10, and they're usually a better deal than if you go to a game store or on eBay. And today, my fiance actually found this. It is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. And I don't know if you can see that sticker, but they priced it at $3.99, so that's $4. What's funny was there's also a Goodwill sticker on here for 99 cents. So someone donated it, someone bought it at Goodwill, and then sold it to Half Price Books for, I'm assuming, just like $1, if anything. But anyway, yeah, guides are a great place, or Half Price Books is a great place to find guides, especially for cheap. Sometimes they slip. This guide could probably easily sell for $10 on eBay, but this one's for my collection. Another obscure thing I go to Half Price Books, and my fiance likes looking for soundtracks. I'm a huge fan of soundtracks, especially video game soundtracks. It's mostly because creating that ambiance and creating that immersive environment makes playing games that much more interesting, that much more captivating, and for that reason, I love finding soundtracks that I can listen to, or putting it on my phone to listen to while I work or study, or not study. I'm not even in school anymore, but just when I'm doing something, on the computer, it makes me more focused, and more pumped and more motivated. So today, I was at Half Price Books and looking through the soundtrack section, which you should check out if you're really into video game music. And I found a couple soundtracks that caught my eye, and for fairly cheap too. So the first one is The King of Soundtracks, 94 to 13. So this is the King of Fighters soundtrack, and I know that there are multiple games. You're probably thinking if you're familiar with the franchise, but this soundtrack has multiple discs. So if you open it up, you have a cool flap here with all the artwork. Open it up again, lists out all the different games, and then each one of these individual flaps, so 1, 2, 3, 4, is a disc. So this is a 4-disc collection, and it collects songs from all 13 games. There's more games now, but when this came out, there was 13. I'm a fan of fighting games, but I don't play them too often, just mostly because I'm not that good, and a lot of the new ones now require online gameplay. I'm not that competitive either. So, if I do play it, I'm really terrible. But they do have great music, and that's one of the reasons why I picked this up, because even though I might suck at King of Fighters, the music's great, and it gets me pumped. So this was an awesome buy. It was $7 for 4 discs, and I believe each disc has about 25 songs, and I was listening to it earlier. Each song is about like 2 minutes, so you got quite a bit of content on here. Next soundtrack is, I don't know if this is official actually, but it is Killer Instinct Gold Cuts. So I don't know if I can show that to you. It says Killer Instinct Gold Cuts soundtrack. And the more famous one is the Killer Cuts, which was included with the Killer Instinct game originally on Super Nintendo, but this one is for the N64 version, so Killer Instinct Gold. And it's got the Nintendo logo on the spine. It's got it, music by Rare and Nintendo/Rare, and the dates for the copyright. And it's even got the Nintendo logo on the disc. I didn't even know this existed, but I found it at Half Price Books. It was $3.99, which is a steal, I'm assuming, because most soundtracks are at least $10. And, I had to have it. I have the game. Again, it's another fighting game that I'm not good at, but the music's awesome, and I had to have it. So this was a good pickup here. So moving on to Value Village, the thrifting finds, more thrifting finds. I had a good week at Value Village. I went multiple different times, multiple different stores, and found a lot of different things. But starting out, we have Pac-Man World 3 for PSP. It is $2.99. I actually do not have a PSP. I'm guilty. I used to have one. I didn't really enjoy it in the games, but this game itself, I figured might be a decent thing to have for trade fodder. It was $2.99. I believe it's about $10 or $15 in value. So I just picked this up for trade. These next 4 games were also picked up for trade in one of my collecting Facebook groups that I'm part of. I'll tend to post online like, hey, this is what I found. Is anybody interested? That sort of thing. I'm trying to pay it forward, trying to share the deals, trying to hunt for people who can't be out hunting. And if anybody bites, I'll pick it up, meet up with them, ship it out, whatever for cost. And that way I make more friends in the community and build up relationships with people that share my passion, and maybe they'll do the same back to me. So it's just something that I do, and these are the 4 games that I found recently for somebody who is interested in them. And we have a Need for Speed Most Wanted, classic Need for Speed game, awesome. If I can't get the glare out, it's an awesome game. I believe this is the open world one, and you can customize your car, run from the cops, that sort of thing. Need for Speed Underground 2, another game that I think this one started the open world aspect of the Need for Speed games, and really focused on import cars, customizing them, drifting. They introduced drifting in this one. I know I played this a lot because I was really into Initial D back then. Then we have Turok Evolution. Never a huge fan of the Turok games, but a lot of people do like them. I guess I couldn't handle the stress of shooting dinosaurs as they were charging at me. And then Metal Arms. So this one was another one that I just saw at the corner of my eye. I know that a lot of people do like this game, and it was $2.99, just the same with all the other pickups that I got. But this one I picked up for trade. I put it up on Facebook saying, hey, I got this in my hands at the store right now, who wants it? And guy came to me saying he wanted it and those 3 other games. So those are 4 games for trade. We have these 3 games which were picked up a day before that, and these ones are for me, so they're going right into my collection. We have Midway Arcade Treasures, and this is just a collection game, one of those collection games that has 20 something games that over 20 classics of arcade games from Midway. So we have like Spy Hunter, Defender, Defender 2, Gauntlet, which is 4 players, so if you have a multi-tap on your PS2 you can play it. Smash TV, Road Blasters. I played a lot of arcade games on the computer back then, or way back when, so this one's kind of cool to have, just to revisit that without having to go to the arcade. The next game that I picked up, Midway Arcade Treasures 2. So same exact concept, just other Midway games. I think this one's a little bit newer. So we have like Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Gauntlet 2, Spy Hunter 2. So just like more sequels and more updated games from Midway. $1.99. Alright, and the next game is Midway Arcade Treasure 3. So you can kind of see a theme going on. I told myself that I wouldn't pick up these games unless I found all 3 at once. I don't know what it was, but that's just kind of my thing. If there's a series and it's somewhat common and not too expensive in value, I kind of want to wait until I can pick up all of them for cheap at once. And that's exactly what happened at this Value Village, and I kind of like it. This one I'm probably gonna be playing a lot more than the other 2, just because it has more games that I'm used to playing a lot more, like Hydro Thunder. Hydro Thunder is a great game. I used to play that in the arcade a lot, or at the movie theater. San Francisco Rush 2049. That one I spent so much time playing on Dreamcast with my buddies, on stunt mode, that sort of thing. So yeah, so we have Midway Arcade Treasures 1, 2, and 3 for another Value Village pickup. Leading off of that, we also have a couple guides. Also from Value Village, we have Alundra. These are going to be traded to a collecting buddy of mine. He voiced interest in them, so I guess they're going to him. And then we have Wild Arms 2. These two, I think they fetch a little bit more, $15 to $20, $25 on eBay. But I'm not going to charge them that much for it. It's just another thing of me passing along the deals. So we have those guides. Another game I picked up, this following the PlayStation trend, we have Cyber Sled. So this game I had as a kid. Comes in the long box. I think it only comes in the long box, but it's kind of something like Virtual On or Armored Core, but you're in sleds instead of mechs. So if you look at the back here, you can see you have these sled-like vehicles, and you're just driving around and shooting your buddies and shooting your enemies. I honestly don't know why there's a guy on it with like a messed up eye, thinking like, oh, what's going on? But this game was a blast when I played it as a kid. I don't know how it holds up today, but it's made by Namco, traditional arcade shooter sort of thing, and I picked it up for $1.99. And this one's actually going to another friend of mine, a different friend, who collects PlayStation long boxes. I don't collect PlayStation long boxes, so I'll probably go over to his house to play it. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, we have this bag here. Also from Value Village. It's a GameCube. Sorry about the bag noise, but I got it for $20, and it's got that digital port in the back for the component cables that are like crazy stupid expensive. But again, pick this up to be able to trade it. Somebody's gonna want a GameCube down the line, and I'm gonna say, hey, I got one. But anyway, I thought it was a good deal for $20. I had the GameCube in here. I have the controller, which is also in very good shape. The power cord and the AV cords. It's got all the pieces on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. It's got all the pieces on the bottom, that are there. Usually they're gone because people get that Game Boy player adapter or the broadband adapter. It's in very good shape too. I can looking at the fan. There's very minimal dust. So this thing has not had a whole lot of playtime. And lastly, you may have seen this on my Instagram account or my Facebook account. At Digidesdan or Digidesdan, /Digidesdan at Facebook or whatever. But this was kind of the best find, in my opinion. Yeah, this was the best find, in my opinion, of the week. And it was Pokemon Ruby for $3.99. So everyone's on that Pokemon craze right now. A lot of Pokemon games, especially Heart Gold and Soul Silver, are reaching over $80, $90, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I don't have Ruby yet. I only have Sapphire, so I figured for $3 for $4, this was a steal. And I paid close and careful attention. We know that there's a whole bunch of bootlegs and fakes out there, but this one's the real deal. I check the serial number, check the label, check all like the Game Boy Advance engraving and the board and everything. It's got the battery in there. The only thing I haven't tested is whether or not it saves. But yeah, this one was in the showcase, which is actually really surprising because normally if it's in the showcases, they know it's worth something, but they price it at $4. So I consider that a win. And those were my pickups for this week and weekend. And I had a lot of great stuff. I had a bunch of World and Nintendo things. I had game guides. This new game, this 3DS game that I've been wanting, soundtracks, a whole bunch of PlayStation. I would consider this week a PlayStation week, and then that system there. But thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate your views. I have other pickup videos. I have tip videos. I also have gameplay videos. And once I get my capture card working, I'll have more gameplay coming through. I've been having some issues. I was only able to record GameCube but now I have the capability to record more, so I can play some of these games back here. And so once I get that all configured and all working, then I should have some more gameplay like NES or SNES, N64 coming your way. So just please hit that like button, comment, subscribe. I'll be sure to be bringing more content for you guys.